Okay, Milwaukee Bucks +1.5 at home. Let's run through a few of the trends. So, despite the fact that the Bucks can't stop a nosebleed this season, they are 7-6 at home against the spread. 9-4 straight up. 7-6 ATS at home versus teams over 500. Now, I will go ahead and put the big caveats on this. The injury report is a mess for them, and I'm not surprised by it. They've been banged up. They're coming off of the road trip, and everybody's been hurt, and they've had lots of problems. Chris Middleton's definitely going to miss this game, so he's out. So that is a hit to the power rating here. Giannis is probable. Damian Lillard with the ankle injury is probable. Chris Middleton's out. Chris isn't enough to get me off of this because I do wind up making this game with a power rating projection of, I still have this Bucks -3. So I cannot get here on this number at all with Denver. Now, Denver is coming off of a loss. This is not a great spot. I will be really honest to fade Denver. They're very good after losses with Jokic and Murray. They tend to whip ass. And they've matched up well with this team. So again, I'm going to say I need both Dame and Giannis to play. I'm not going to bet this until I'm not going to bet this until they are in. I need this at game tip in to bet this. Don't bet this before then. Don't bet this if you hear oh, they've been upgraded, or ooh, it sounds like if Chris Haynes is it's expected to play. Do not. You have to get both of these guys here. However, look, process has been better for Milwaukee. They keep losing with Doc Rivers. I understand how that looks. The process is better. Anybody that really watches these games knows that a lot of this is just it's fluctuations with them on the road and all of this nonsense. They're coming back off that West Coast road trip. Guess what? The numbers don't say that's a bad spot. They just don't. I've looked at them. The numbers, last 5 years, last 10 years, last 20 years, it is not a bad spot coming back off that road trip. Jay always plays it, and I understand, and you will hit it sometimes. I'm just telling you that the numbers do not bear out that's a bad spot ATS. It is at the very most accurately factored into the spread. So I will go ahead and I'll grab the 1.5. Now, if Giannis and Dame both go and this moves to Bucks -1, guess what? I will still play it. If it goes to Bucks -2, I'm out. That's my threshold point. Is I can't do this at Bucks -2. I have to have it Bucks under 2 in order for me to play this. But I am going to go ahead and walk into the lion's mouth here, fading the Nuggets coming off of a loss where they've been so good. But this is on the road. Bucks got beat in Denver with everybody playing. Bucks are motivated to try and turn their season around. I think the process is better. I'll take Milwaukee here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're kind of on the right track, and especially the way the spread kind of is, I think you have the ability to wait, right? Even if the line does move towards Milwaukee, we're crossing a 0, they can't tie. So, I think that you're kind of in a good situation where, if you want to wait for news, you're not really bleeding a dead point. You know what I mean? They can't tie. So it's maybe the juice swings, maybe it moves from a +1 to a -1 or, a -1.5. But I do think that this is one of those opportunities where you don't have to guess, especially in this type of matchup. So Denver's also been worse on the road. They've just not been nearly as dominant this year. And I wonder to a degree, is that because of what they feel like they can do in the postseason? They're just not as worried about it, but they're 15-13 straight up on the road, which is just about a middling point in terms of the league, in terms of what their numbers are, what the projections are, whatever. And they've actually won 2.9 games more than expected based on their point differential per cleaning the glass. So I do think this is definitely a Buck spot, as long as everybody plays.
Nuggets this season on the road versus teams over 500, 5-7 straight up, 5-6-1 ATS. They're under 500 on the road versus teams over 500. The bench really struggles. It's a huge problem. And if your bench is going to struggle versus Milwaukee, you can say well, the Milwaukee's bench is bad too. You can. That's true. But it also might be as simple as Milwaukee's bench is home. So maybe that's easier for them. Kind of the final note, though, is after a loss versus teams over 500, the Nuggets have only played one game in that spot this season, and they're 1-0 straight up NATS versus the Boston Celtics. So, yeah, tough one, but I'm going to go ahead and brave it and take the Bucks here.